Clock. Let's jump into charting. Futures kind of bouncing. I have no idea why they're bouncing, but I still think there is a lot room to the downside. But for whatever reason, they're bouncing. I think they hit previous lows. Let's see, what were the previous lows? Yeah, I'm around here. So yeah, the Bollinger Band. I think that that also came into picture at the same time, and I think that's the reason it's bouncing right now. However, I still see downside in the market, and this needs to be tested. Wherever the futures are bouncing off of now, that will be tested. That number will come down, and that number will be tested. 3860 or whatever the number is, 3850, it will get tested again. And let's see. So my base case to the upside is 3900. That remains intact, even from yesterday. I think so. This number is intact, right? And as the day goes by, this number might start to come down. However, this number stays intact for now. My base case to the upside is 3900. If we break above that, I don't know. I don't see a reason to break above that. However, if we do break above that, then we are looking for a push into most likely 39. Uh, where is that? Right about here. So basically, this is how it's going to progress. If we clear 3900, then we're looking for a push of 3920. Right now, not plotting anything beyond this super trend that is sitting at 3925. 3900 base case to the upside, 3925 good to have, and if that clears there, then we will reassess the situation based on VIX and other parameters that we always look for a trade. And to the downside, I still think my base case to the downside should be somewhere around here. 3873, or rather, let's round it up at 3870 is my base case to the downside. Should that break, we're looking for a good to have would be 3857. Should that break, we're looking for a push into 3847. However, that is on the today's side. However, if you're looking at the larger picture, 3700 is still intact. And we will test most likely this number here, 3776. This looks good for the day. And on the on higher time frames, I don't see anything else other than 3790 here or 3780. Let's round that up at 3780. So I don't see anything before that. So 100, a good 100 points to the downside. Yeah, very plausible. Plausible and possible, both. So at this point, we're looking for that 100 points to the downside. That's a bigger picture. However, 1 hour time frame is where I act for my trading. And what would bring us there? Obviously, this guy, Apple. Apple right now is bouncing off of this number here. It is proven to be a formidable support so far. However, I happen to believe that Apple will need to come back into this number, the 100 moving average on the weekly time frame, which is sitting at about 138. I strongly believe that this needs to happen, and most likely we will get that number today. And what makes me so sure, besides the technicals, Fed has reiterated. In fact, Mr. Powell was on the other day uh, with an interview or something, I think yesterday. So he reinstated several times his objective of inflation is 2 points, 2% points, right? And the inflation right now is sitting at about 8% points. So you can imagine, right? So for him to bring the inflation, and then also remember that remember when they said inflation is transitory, so they have that hanging on over their head. So it's you can call it as an ego point right now because they have egg all over their face. They should not have done that. They should have acted sooner. However, right now the Fed needs to prove their credibility. They kind of have to rein this thing down, inflation. So in that regard, I think Fed will not stop until at least the inflation is below somewhere close to 4. They say 2 if the case is 2. If they want to bring down the inflation to 2% points, that would be absolute carnage in the markets. Okay, why I'm sure you guys have heard about this thing called PE, right? So P is profits and E is earning, right? The profit side of story has come down drastically. We are seeing that in almost every what is that called earnings report. The P side of things have been contracting. Now that it's time for E side of things to contract. So E side of things are contracting, and that will continue to happen. Lack of liquidity is there. The liquidity is going away from the markets, and I think that will continue as the Fed keeps pushing the pedal, and there's no reason to believe that Fed would let up anytime soon. So there's no reason to believe that the sell off will be done anytime soon. We might keep getting that little bit of rally here and there, with like we got last past 4 or 5 days, and we will again resume down. That's my understanding of things, and that will keep happening until at least. Here's okay. I think we have some time, couple of minutes to talk big picture. So there's something called PE, all right, and it is also not just for every single stock. The PE is also for the whole market, which is S&P. So currently, the PE is sitting about under 18, a little under 18. That used to be 20 back in January. Now it is sitting under a little under 18. I happen to believe that the PE multiple has to go back close to at least 17, 16, and 15. I think that's where the selling would subside. Till that happens, I think the selling will be continued. It will be a sustained sell-off, I think. So in that regard, if you're looking at that, if you're looking at growth will be beaten down really, really, really bad, and anything that is not making money, that will be taken to the wood chip. Yeah, wood chipper. So make sure that whatever you're playing, if it doesn't make money or has cash on the balance sheet, it will be taken to the wood chipper. No other way to put it. And Apple doesn't fall into that category. However, Apple is one of the biggest contributor to the multiples, and that is the reason it will keep pushing down. So how far that thesis will come true, I don't know. That time will tell. However, that is the thesis, and that is the if you're an institution, if you're a large holder of stocks, if you run money, that is the exact thesis that you're looking at. So my understanding of Apple, I think it needs to come back into this 138 number and then probably push down into 134, and perhaps we'll get to see 120s on Apple probably sometime this month. And right. So after that, let's see if Apple can get 136 somewhere around that after 138. And the downtrend is still intact. Everything looks good here to the downside on the monthly. And how do I want to play Apple on the 1 hour? It is getting overbought, oversold, so might be a bounce here up to 8. Then if that clears, we're looking for a push into, sorry, up to the 5. If the 5 clears, we're looking for a push into the 8, 141. And after that, if that clears, then 143 is what we're looking for. Will it get there? I doubt it. I doubt it. However, this is the case. So 142 to the upside, 142.70 or whatever this number is, that is the upside, and 138 to the downside. If 138 breaks, we are looking for 136. I am not looking to accumulate any position in anything today. It will be a trade. Everything will be a trade. Uh, Perhaps UPST would be, or UPST and Affirm. Those two are. Uh, I've heard people saying on online and this and that. The slump in fintech is over. That's what they're saying. I don't believe so. The only reason I think something like a UPST is hovering around here because it has been beaten down super bad, and technicals were not allowing this thing to push down any further. However, I believe that there is further downside with all of these things, especially if you see 10-year pushing down. Hang on just a second, guys. All right. So what was I thinking? What was I saying? Yeah. All right. So that was about Apple. Let's jump into this guy, 10-year. Right? So we knew what was going to happen here. We were hoping that it wouldn't happen. However, we got that. Whatever, we knew this was happening. We knew this would come down into its eight, and now the challenge is for it to hold on to its eight. Will it be able to hold on to it eight? Its eight? I sure hope so. I don't want to see a reversion to the mean here. That would be a phenomenally uh, I don't know, disastrous. Revert to the mean on the weekly, that would be phenomenally disastrous for 10-year. I don't want to see that happen. So I'm not going there yet. However, let's watch for the break of this eight. I would rather want it to bounce here. A shitstorm. Yep. Yep. So let's see. Yeah. So we knew this. We knew this. We knew that. We know the technicals. We know how everything behaves here. And it's coming down, and here it is where it is headed to. 2.72 is where it is heading into. If that breaks, then we're looking for a push into somewhere around here, 2.67, and this is never good. And if you put this along with the 2-year, that is recessionary, right? This coming down and long end of the curve. This is not really long end, but intermediate end of the curve. And you put that, if you overlay this with the short end of the curve, which is the 2-year, and if this crosses below the 2-year, then that is it. We are done. And that's what the Fed is trying to avoid, the crossover below on the 10 and 2. And I think Fed will act again with multiple 50 bips. So there you have that. And Bitcoin right now is pushing up for whatever reason. I don't understand. So this is giving me a pause on going short on growth right now. For whatever reason, Bitcoin is pushing up. I don't like this. I don't like this scenario where the Bitcoin is pushing up and the market is coming down. So Bitcoin has been a very good indicator of risk on, risk off environment. Today seems like a risk on environment because Bitcoin is pushing up. And on the market side of things, the market is coming down. I don't like what is happening. The disconnect the disconnect is showing up, and I don't like that disconnect. So far, it was pretty smooth with the markets pushing down, and also, whoa, why is it pushing up? We got our base case. It seems like, yeah, almost there. 3,900 was our base case. So for whatever reason, okay, I think the correlation is back on. So uh, BTC is pushing up, markets are pushing up. So BTC, as long as you see BTC pushing up, that means it's a risk on environment. So I'll be looking for that. So let's say if the markets break above here, 3,900, then we're looking for a push into 3,910. And in fact, we're looking for to get this number. Where is that number? Right about here. 3925 is what we're looking for. Perhaps this number here. Nope. I forgot. Where was that number coming from? After 3900? 3907. Most likely we'll test this one. I think 3930. If it clears 3900, let's look for 3930. All right, so let's push into SPX. And I strongly believe that there is downside on SPX, and let's look at how do we want to play that. What's the range going to be today? So if it clears here, 3,900, right now it's trading about here, right about here, 38, 3960 or something like that. So 3,900 is still the base case to the upside. And should that clear, let's go on the 1-hour chart. Right. So if it clears 3,900, then we're looking for a push into 3,940 or 3,944. And if that clears, then we're looking for a push into 3,962. This might be a bit of a rally, but I don't see it beyond this. However, if it does actually clear 3960, then we're looking for a push into 3994. I don't see a reason for that. However, if that happens, we will play along with that. It doesn't bias. There's nothing called bias for me. I just go by the technicals, and the technicals are suggesting a bounce here. In fact, I am long Apple from yesterday as a hedge. Right, I put that out in text as well, and I've spoken about it yesterday towards the close. I am long Apple as a hedge. So if I see SPX pushing towards its five, I will exit all of those trades to the short side. Then probably if it if it clears the five, I'll exit all the trades to the short side and probably look for a long side till eight. And then most likely we'll get a rejected eight. Then probably I'll go short again on everything else. If eight is accepted and if the price starts to move into its 50 on the 1 hour, yeah, this will again be a point where I'll go long here to hit this number. That's how I want to play this. So to the upside, 3900 is the base case. 3943 is the good to have. If that clears, then we're looking for 3960. This is how I want to play to the upside. Cool thing. And lastly, let's jump into VIX. VIX, I'm not sure how to deal with that. VIX to the upside, I think 35, 36 is still intact, and we should get that. We should get that. Probably today would be a breather. Yesterday, VIX ran about 20 points. Today, breather wouldn't surprise me. However, the case for VIX to the upside is still intact. Right, we hit this number, it is coming down, and let's say if it comes down, then we're looking for 30, 22, and then perhaps a push back into right about here, 27.55. So if VIX breaks below this number here, around 30, right, let's say VIX breaks below 30, then we will be having a sustained rally perhaps today. uh, However, if VIX comes down to its mean, sitting at 3040 or something, and bounces off this number, then we're looking for again the push of into 31, right here about 33, I guess. So if VIX clears 33, then we're looking for a push into 36. That's how I want to see VIX. However, again, I'll go back into the 1 hour chart because this is where I watch everything. And right near here, this is the chart pattern I recognize. It goes up, becomes overbought, starts to come back into its 5, 8. If that breaks, we're looking for a push into 3093. If that breaks, we're pushing into 3037, and the mean is sitting at 2970. This is how I want to see it progress. Cool thing. Anything else? So we covered everything. So Tesla is one other thing that I'm watching today. Just like everything, looks like Tesla is also pushing up from the pre-market lows. So the 5 is being tested. If 5 clears, then 8 will be tested. So 709 is my base case today. 709, 710. If we clear that, then we're looking for a push into 725. Plotting nothing beyond that. However, if it clears 725 and pushes into this inner Bollinger Band, then we are looking for a hit of 734. And probably that should be it for the day. But let's say if Apple rallies into this number, where is Apple? And yeah, let's say if Apple rallies into this number, 143.76, right here, 143.60, whatever this number is. If Apple rallies into this number and clears this number here, then we'll look for a sustained rally to the upside. And this would be a big number for VIX to clear, and this will be a big number for markets to watch as a overall. And some of the passive trades that I'm looking to make is Microsoft 230. That should be a passive trade, and Facebook, not Facebook. What is that called? Netflix 140 passive trade. So those trades would be, I would put on those trades and leave them there, right here. Yeah, right here. So this is the trade I'm trying, selling puts here for I don't know whatever I'm gonna get, 10 cents, 20 cents. I don't care. That's still money. So I'll collect that. And for Microsoft, I'm looking for this number around here, 230 or something. I'll whatever I'll get right about here. So whatever I'll get, I'll take that. I don't know, 10 cents, 2 cents, 5 cents. I'll take that. That's still money, and that's passive. That's free money at this point. So yeah, so that's the idea, and this is the guy I'm watching today. Not trading exactly, might not get involved actively at all. In fact, because I have a lot on my plate, but I'll be watching this guy. Probably I'll get involved passively with Amazon. Why am I watching this? Because if Amazon starts to come back in, and it will bring down about everything retail or online retail, names like Shop, Etsy, Wayfair, what you name it, right? Everything is online these days. In fact, Walmart, and you want to be watching Walmart and Amazon, both have online presence, a huge online presence. And if these businesses come down, the E side of things needs to come down for both of these businesses. The P side of things has come down. Now the E side of things needs to come down, and it will come down. And if not to say that Amazon is undervalued right now. Amazon is undervalued. Google is also undervalued right now. So these undervalued relatively. Still, they are trading at a higher multiple. In fact, Google is trading at about 19. I think that is a very, 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 very good multiple. So I would look to initiate positions around with Apple, sorry, with Amazon and Google and Microsoft. Might be Microsoft a little later, but looking for Amazon and Google. So how do I want to do that? Sell puts, wait for it. If it comes down, I'll take a position. If it doesn't, then I'll keep the premium. That's the logic there. Nothing complicated. Uh, and yeah, that is pretty much it from my end. Simple. Any concerns, comments, ideas, data points, critiques, anything?
Of Tesla?
Tesla?
I'm just kidding.
So Darth, off open. You think we should be patient and wait for see what this
Yes.
pump does or whatever, and see
Yes.
these levels? Okay,
Yep, yep.
thought so. Thank
Today,
you.
today I'm not getting involved in at the open. Yesterday was pretty decent day at the open. However, I'll be watching. What is that? This chart seemed to be showing a bit of strength. Futures, and I'm pretty sure SPY is doing the same thing. However, let's say where this yeah, let's say this thing goes from being upbeat, and especially the five, the green crosses below, sorry, the red crosses below the green here, the line 8 below 21. Yeah, that's when I'll start paying attention. Till then, I'll just be playing along, whichever side it is bouncing off of. And especially if it goes 8 below 21 happens on the 5, then 8 below 21 happens on the 15 for a confirmation. Yeah, then I'll go short. And this is still 8 below
Gotcha.
21.
Thank you.
Yep. Most likely this is what's going to happen. Most likely the case is that we're going to get a hit of mean on the 1 hour. 3900 will be broken, and probably around 3906 and probably 3920. This is where it will be, it will happen, and short covering will push it into this number, 3960. That's what I'm seeing as, as pretty much the path at the open. However, if we start to push down, where are those numbers? Right about here, 3960, 3980, 3860, then perhaps 3850, and then we push into these numbers, 3840 and below. Let's test this number before anything, 3880. Let's break that and then push into 3860s. All right.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Quick question about futures. The pre-market futures hit 38.53 or 57. I can't remember. What you were
38.
saying in charting last night, does that mean technically it has to test it again today during market
Yep.
hours?
Yep. Most likely that would be the case. No, 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 no. Hang on, hang on. So here's the thing. So you see what has happened here, right? This is the daily. So on the
Yep.
daily, we have tested that number
Yep.
before. So now it is coming back and testing that
Right.
number. So that test is
Oh, it
complete,
already did today. Okay.
right?
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
now
Gotcha. So it doesn't need
here's,
to happen
yeah,
again. Gotcha.
right. So here's the confusion now, right? And so we knew till here it was clear for us. It was going to go down and it was going to come down and test that. We were pretty clear about it. Now what happens from here is new story from here. If you push down to a new low, then bounce off of that new lows, and that would be a new story to deal with. All right, about 5 minutes to the
Gotcha.
open. Let's go into sanity, and good luck with everything today.